Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Ollie and I currently live and teach English in Santa Cruz, Bolivia. In this video, I want to share with you some of my top travel tips when traveling around Bolivia. I was lucky enough last year to do a 2-week trip around this beautiful and amazing country. So I want to tell you some of my secrets about traveling around Bolivia so that maybe it might help you in the future. But I definitely do recommend you visit this amazing country. It's so diverse in terms of people, food, and the cities are so different. If you come to South America, don't forget to come to Bolivia. Before we get started, if you haven't already, check out all my other videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to stay updated with everything that I'm doing here in South America. Let's get started. Because I live in Bolivia, money wasn't a problem as in terms of getting Bolivianos. But if you're coming from a different country, I would advise that you bring US dollars and get your currency changed either at the airport or in the city that you find yourself. Because you probably won't find Bolivianos outside of Bolivia, and you need Bolivianos because it's a cash society. It's rare that you can pay for things with your card. I mean, you definitely can, and more places have a card option, but cash is the preferred method of payment. So make sure you bring US dollars. Some places accept US dollars, but if you can change that into Bolivianos, that definitely helps. So living in Santa Cruz, it was time for our vacation. Or, okay, I'm teaching an English book, so I've picked up some Americanisms. Unfortunately, it was time for our holiday. Santa Cruz is in the southeast of the country. It's quite isolated from everywhere else. So we decided to take a plane to start our trip in La Paz. The plane ticket was about $100 US, about 700 Bolivianos, which I thought was a little expensive for Bolivia given how cheap everything is here. But I guess it's, what can you do? You have to, if you want to fly, you have to pay it. So we arrived in La Paz airport in the afternoon. The airport is in El Alto, which is at the top of the La Paz Valley. So La Paz is in a valley, and then at the top you have El Alto, which is another city, and the airport is up there. The great thing about La Paz is there's a teleférico system or cable car system. So we thought it would be a good idea to take the teleférico down into the valley as the day was becoming into the evening. So we asked the taxi drivers, how much is it to the nearest cable car station? And the taxi driver said 40 Bolivianos, which is expensive given the short distance from the airport to the cable car station. But if you are prepared to pay that, I would definitely go for that option because we got ripped off by our Uber. We decided to go for Uber, which said 21 Bolivianos, which seems more reasonable, but airport prices, right? The bad thing is our Uber driver got lost in El Alto city, and when we finally arrived at our destination, like half an hour later, it ended up costing us 80 Bolivianos, which is about, $12 US dollars. So I would recommend take the taxi, suck up the 40 Bolivianos, which is probably nothing to a lot of people, pay the 40 Bolivianos and get yourself to the nearest teleférico station. So we arrived at the teleférico station and it's 3 Bolivianos to buy a ticket. You can buy, I think, a return, or you can buy like 3 tickets, and they're 3 Bolivianos each, which is about like 40 US cents per ticket, I think, something like that. So you have the option of buying just 1 ticket, or you can buy 3 tickets, or you can buy a return ticket. There's different deals that happen at each time, but the great thing is it's super cheap. So we all got in the teleférico, and I'll play the video of us going down into the valley. It's evening, the lights are just magnificent. I feel like this video does not do it justice because it's just simply an incredible view of a city that really shouldn't even be there. Like in the mountains, there's nothing there other than, a snow mountain to your right and just other mountains to your left. And there's this city where people are living at. It was simply incredible, so beautiful. In terms of accommodation, we decided to stay in the city, in the area where the Witches Market was. It seemed to be, when I looked at hostel bookers and booking.com, it seemed to be where most of the hostels were. I'll put a link to the place we stayed in the bio, just in terms of knowing where the location is. You feel free to stay there if you like, but I'm sure there are more comfortable, nicer places within the same area. But I found the area to be quite nice, lots of different restaurants and bars and cafes around, and it's close to the main road. It's close to everything. So I recommend staying in that area. I think we paid like 80 Bolivianos a night, which is about $11.50, which seems reasonable for La Paz. So if you're looking for accommodation that's, you know, cheapish, it's definitely an option for you. In La Paz, you need to do a few things. You need to go to the Witches Market, and you need to go to Cholita Wrestling. Cholita is the name of like the traditional women, and it's kind of like, think of WWE, but like 1,000 times worse. I remember I got there and I was like, where am I? It's kind of like in this shed in La Paz, but it was truly incredible. It was a great experience and just something weird. So I would recommend going to see Cholita Wrestling and going to the Witches Market, where you can buy lots and lots of souvenirs in La Paz. Now, if you're going to La Paz, you can't not go to Isla del Sol, which is the Sun Island on Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake. How did I get there? Well, I decided that I didn't want to work things out for myself. I would rather, you know, typical, organize a tour, they take me there, they bring me back, and everything would be fine. And that's what we did as a group. I organized through Bolivia Hop from transfers from our hostel in the morning to Titicaca, overnight accommodation, and transfers back the next day. So this was like a 48-hour package. I think we paid $39 for Bolivia Hop, and I have no problems recommending them. The service was quick. They were super helpful. We got water. We didn't have to stress about anything because you have to cross, I think, 2 rivers or maybe 1 river. Like you have to get off the boat, get onto a little boat and go over the river while your bus goes on like a ferry. So it's kind of a hassle to get from La Paz to Copacabana, which is the town, which from Copacabana you then take an hour ferry to Isla del Sol. So for me, it seems like there was a lot of hassle. So rather than do the hassle, just take the Bolivia Hop tour bus and everything was sorted. We didn't have to find accommodation because they found accommodation. It was at the top of the island, which had amazing views of the city. I'll show some photos of how incredible it was. It's quite touristy, but it still has charms of being, it has like the Mediterranean Sea feel, like the beautiful water. It literally feels like you're in the ocean. It's so good, amazing. So I recommend you spend maybe 2 nights there. I think 2 nights is enough. It's quite small and there's only so much walking and relaxing in altitude that you can do. That's another tip. Get altitude sickness medication. You need that, okay? It's really important because I personally wasn't affected in terms of being sick, but my friends were. Like my friends really struggled with the altitude. The only problems I had is waking up in the morning. It felt like someone had been cutting at my throat all night. So I needed throat lozenges and I took the tablets just to, I don't know, not get sick, because you, like walking, you will run out of breath, like easy. It's like 4,000 meters above sea level, something crazy like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting those altitude sickness tablets. So we took the bus back, we took Bolivia Hop back to La Paz. We had a couple more days in La Paz to walk around, go to the basilicas, go to different museums. I'm not really a museum guy, so I don't want to recommend any museums because I just don't know. But definitely try out some local food there. You can get cheap food. The great thing about Bolivia, it is cheap. It's so cheap. Eat the street food. Maybe not in your first week, but I would definitely recommend eating some street food. You'll be surprised how strong our livers and our guts are. So definitely try some street food from the Cholitas as well. Okay, after La Paz, the most logical place for you to go is to the Salt Flat. But how do you get there? There's a couple of options. You can fly, but it's super expensive. The other option is to take an overnight bus, which is what I recommend, and it's what we did. Super easy to find. There are so many travel agencies in and around the Witches Market area where my accommodation was. Every second shop was a travel agent. And you can trust them, okay? There's no problem trusting them. Or you can buy the bus ticket at the bus station. But again, the bus station is a little chaotic. Everyone's running around. It's just a typical South American bus station, quite crazy. Everybody offering you tickets, quite intimidating. I mean, I'm quite intimidated by a lot of things, but it was quite intimidating. So I do recommend you either buy your ticket in advance or buy it at the bus station. But again, it's up to you, whatever you like. We paid 200 Bolivianos for a bus that came with they call it a semi-cama, which is, a cama is a bed, half bed. You could put your seat back, you could go to sleep, and I had a great night's sleep on the semi-cama. It was super comfortable. The seats seemed to be wider than buses back home in Australia. Not sure why, got no idea. They also gave us a meal, some rice and some chicken. Eat it if you want, don't eat it. Definitely take some snacks, definitely take some water because they don't stop. Okay, so make sure you're prepared to be on that bus for 8 hours and they probably won't stop. I mean, they might stop just for the bus driver to relax, but you're not getting off the bus. So water, snacks, whatever you want to make you feel good. Arriving in Uyuni at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we went there in June, which is the middle of winter, and it was freezing. Be prepared that Uyuni in winter is super duper cold. We decided not to book our salt flat tour in advance because we heard from various people and reading online that you could walk around and try and negotiate a price. So me and my two friends decided to do that, which in hindsight is fine. You can do that, or you can book the tour in advance in La Paz, or you can book it online. But I found before I traveled that there wasn't much information online, or it was really super expensive companies that are designed for 3-day full package tours, and we didn't really want that. We just wanted, you know, the car. We wanted as much as we could get for as less money as possible, as little money as possible. So we arrived at 6 o'clock, we got off the bus, and literally when you step off the bus, there are like 20 people in your face trying to sell you tours of the salt flats, which is fine, I guess. But at 6 a.m. in the morning when you're super tired, you're just like, go away, leave me alone, please. And then there's other people trying to make you come to the cafe that they have. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, coffee, take me to the coffee. We can organize the trip later. So walking around the center of Uyuni, the town is really bad. There's, sorry Bolivians, it's a super small, there's nothing really there, quite poor. That's what you'll notice about Bolivia. There's a lot of poverty here. And we found a couple of shops. We noticed that when we were walking around, there was lots of 4x4s pretty much offering the same thing, right? They all offer the same thing. It's just whether you can trust the person and whether you can get the correct price. We ended up finding a lady called Delicia, and she gave us a package tour for 500 Bolivianos, which I don't know the math, but think of 350 is $50 US plus another 150. I would say it was about $72, $73 for a 2-day tour. $72 for a 2-day tour. And we chose to do the 2-day tour because on the first day, you see like the salt flats, the salt. And on the other 2 days, it's more driving through the countryside, seeing lagoons, seeing big mountains, seeing llamas. And we decided that we just wanted 1 day of looking at lagoons. It's up to you. You can take 1-day tours, you can take 2-day tours, you can take 3-day tours, or I think you can even take 4 or longer day tours. But for us, 2 days, like squished in a car, because it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. You're squished in the car. 2 days was enough for us. But I do recommend that you do spend a good amount of time in the salt flats. Going back to trying to find a tour in Uyuni, we decided that we wanted the whole day to look for the tour, but it only actually took us 2 hours. And then we had the rest of the day in a city that has nothing. So that felt like a bit of a waste of time or a bit boring, but you know, it was fine. It was fine. I don't regret the decision to book it there because I was a little bit apprehensive about what certain companies were offering, and I trusted Our Lady Delicia, and she delivered. It was fantastic. The guy that took us on the drive, he didn't speak English, but that's fine. if you can, I mean, he didn't really speak that much, but if you can know a little bit of Spanish and you can translate for your friends, which is what I tried to do in my broken Spanish, I definitely recommend that for sure. When you're finished with Uyuni, if you want to continue traveling through Bolivia, you can go to other various places, but we went on to Potosi. And in the main street of Uyuni, it's like the bus station. It's not a real bus station, it's just on the road. And you won't miss it because there's heaps of buses. It's kind of near the church, and there'll be people yelling, Potosi, Sucre, La Paz. They'll be yelling Tarija, they'll be yelling different places for you to go. We just went up to this lady, we said, hey, we want to go to Potosi. We paid 30 Bolivianos, which is $5, a little bit less than $5, and it's a 4-hour bus trip. Again, be prepared for this bus trip because it's uncomfortable, no air conditioner, overcrowded, and it stops a lot to drop people off at different places along the route, which makes sense, right? It's kind of like a bus for tourists, but it's also a local bus for people who are traveling between places, because a lot of these places are on the main road. Potosi's great. I recommend you stay near the square. I'll put the link to the place where we stayed. It was great, it was clean, it was private, and it was right on the old square. The old center is quite small, so you can explore that in a day, and I wouldn't recommend leaving that because it felt a little bit dodgy outside the main square. Our bus dropped us off on the outskirts of town, and I was a little scared, and I was like, oh my god, thank god I'm with 7 other people, and I felt, you know, a little bit better with that. But yeah, you can explore the city in a day. There's the coal mine that you can go to, which was like part of the Spanish Empire, but it's a beautiful city, and I feel like if you have the time, don't miss it, because it was, you know, the most important city of the Spanish Empire back in the 16th century, I think, when all the silver mine, not the coal mine, the silver mine. After Potosi, it makes sense to go to Sucre, which is the capital of Bolivia, technically. Okay, but La Paz is where the seat of government is, but Sucre is the formal capital of the country, and it's known as La Ciudad Blanca, which means the white city. Again, it's kind of like a big Potosi. You have the old city in the middle where you can walk around, lots of beautiful restaurants, cafes. The main square is probably the best square in the country. Yeah, it's great. And then after Sucre, if you want to go to Santa Cruz, you can. I live here. It's not the best tourist place. I actually never see tourists here, and I'm not surprised. So yeah. So basically, within the cities, you can only get Uber in La Paz, and in the other cities, you're gonna need taxis or walking. You can walk anywhere really. Uber in La Paz is super cheap if you want, or just walking. Like, Bolivia is not the biggest. The cities are super small, so you can walk everywhere and feel pretty safe and pretty comfortable about where you are. I've never been robbed, touch wood, in Bolivia. I feel quite safe here, and you should too. If you can learn a little bit of Spanish before you come, I would recommend that, because it's rare to find people who do speak English. Make sure you get your money changed at the airport or with a bank, so you've got Bolivianos. Make sure you have cash, because they're not going to be able to, you won't be able to pay with things with card in many places. But definitely enjoy Bolivia. It's an amazing country. I've never been to a place anywhere quite like Bolivia. And if you have any questions about my time in Bolivia, how to become a teacher in Bolivia, or any other questions, leave a comment and I will get back to you. Thanks guys. See you later.